This is our presentation and market research for our new analog horror anomaly detection game, Error 666. We will first be showing off our creative process and ideation for the project. Looking at what makes an effective analog horror game, we decided that a game that twists some mundane elements of most people's lives would be a good fit. We believe that the idea of an effective analog horror game is its twists and turns and how it can affect people's lives, so we decided to have the player explore an old desktop as if they were navigating their own work computer. This has been a proven strategy to completely immerse the player into the gameplay, as you are forcing them into the main character's perspective. This is shown in a few popular analog horror games such as Kinito Pet and Home Safety Hotline. Although these indie games can be argued that they're quite unknown, they're slowly being recognised by bigger YouTubers such as Markiplier. In conjunction to this, although it's not a horror game, Emily Away is another good example of using the desktop as a perspective and how effective it was to convey the character's emotions. This is due to the fact that all the characters are faceless, leaving the player to their own imagination. Because of this, the player can insert their own experiences and their own relationships onto the in-game characters, making it more compelling to play as the game becomes more of a personal endeavour. However, it can also be argued that due to its small amount of representation in the market of desktop perspective horror, our game idea can be a good way of filling that gap and would have more of a chance to be seen as something that stands out amongst other horror games. Discerning our game's target audience is an important part of the planning stage. Knowing who to market your game towards can be the key decision on whether your game flops or succeeds. The horror genre has a fairly even gender demographic spread. A study conducted by Selena Dawn reveals that women make up 35.2%, men make up 39.7%, and non-binary people make up 30.4% of the targetable market, which means our game can target and attract players of all genders. In a different study conducted by Dr. Matthias Klanzen, it was shown that more than 80% of horror game players were between the ages of 18 and 30, meaning we should be aiming to target adults. Our game takes inspiration from other analog horror titles and works, such as the Mandela catalogs and old-school Flash games, to provide players with a unique and interactive experience. Since we are offering a different type of horror experience, it is sure to appeal to a wider range of horror fans, such as fans who are sick of jump scares and others who want to try a new type of horror game. So after we chose all of our deciding factors, we realised that this was aimed at a minimum ages 16 and above in accordance with PEGI ratings, which from the earlier statistics is not an issue for us. We will now continue on to the game study. The game is an analog horror style format where you work as an office worker trying to detect and fix anomalies on your computer. These anomalies appear as mini-games you play, similar to simple PC games like Chrome Dino and Solitaire. These anomalies become more and more intense as the game goes on, corrupting your computer like a virus. You must complete them before your computer gets the error 666, otherwise it's game over. Horror games have a median playtime of 2 hours and 54 minutes and have an ownership of 2.31 million people. The average price of each of these games is $9.54. As well as that, the search trends show that horror game search terms have been on an upward trend since 2020, and indie games have had a mostly consistent search trend since 2015, but have been having a slight upward trend since 2020. We have had an average of 7 touch points for a buyer to make a decision to try and accommodate for. So one of them will be Steam sales, as lowering the price will put it on the front of the Steam store page. To also be efficient, we offer a different way to achieve game capital more successfully. By our game mainly being reliant upon artwork and design, this allows us to have a shorter production time, giving us more of a budget for our marketing proposal. While analog horror is a saturated genre, we'll be using the minigames aspect as a major selling point, which will help to make our game more memorable. Here are our plans for marketing and strategies. Many marketing campaigns can often struggle to maintain its strength throughout its duration. We can ensure this doesn't occur through forming connections with crucial social media influencers and reputable journalists. This gives our campaign a strong foundation, which can be built upon in the coming stages of development. We'd leverage streamers by offering early access or exclusive content, and target streamers who specialise in horror or reaction-heavy games, keeping interest in our game active throughout the campaign. For our first initial tests to ensure basic functionality of the game we'll be doing, we will open closed alpha beta testing so that small groups will test for pacing of scares, atmosphere, sound design, and core gameplay mechanics. Our main focus while testing with horror enthusiasts will be Immersion levels, are players engaged? And fear factors, are the scares effective? We will also have streamer and influencer playtests, which will give us access to live audience reactions and real-time feedback on scare effectiveness and pacing. We will also be able to look out for certain details within all of the playtests and streams, such as psychological testing to observe emotional responses to scares and tension, and usability testing to check players aren't frustrated with the mechanics. We will also have special launch day giveaways to entice more players that also could be influential to our game testing. During this, we will offer an official countdown on our YouTube channel for dev interviews alongside Q&As to respond to more live feedback. After the immediate hype of a game's release, it's important for an indie dev to maintain as much of the hype as possible so that their game doesn't fall into the dark archives of Steam. Building a sense of community on social media such as TikTok and Reddit, where fans can talk about and share all sorts of things regarding the game, provides a channel for the developers to interact with their fans and create a strong customer relationship to help push word-of-mouth sales. The help of short and snappy ad campaigns that entice rather than bore potential players can lead to a large sales increase. We also plan to offer large-scale updates such as VR support and DLC, which will later include our Humble Bundle game bundles for excess sales increase later down the line. When advertising, you need to grab the attention of the buyer, convert that attention into interest, and then reward that attention and interest with an emotional response. On platforms like TikTok, you have about 2 seconds to capture the viewer's attention before more than 25% of viewers scroll away. Because of this, it is vital to catch their attention with interesting audio or graphics. An example of doing this is through the use of trailer moments. Trailer moments are moments that look impressive, are memorable, or show something interesting about your game. On the slide is an example of advertising on social media. It grabs the attention by naming a well-established game many people know from their childhoods, converts this into interest by linking it into the gameplay in the second sentence, and rewards the interest through the creepy imagery of the screenshot. This screenshot could also double as a trailer moment or a way to grab the attention. Using hashtags in posts makes it easier for the algorithm to pick up your post and advertise it to the relevant people. On a lot of social medias, it is possible to follow the hashtags, meaning that reaching the right market using the correct hashtags is even easier. During our market research, our group looked into the recent marketing success of Massive Monster's Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb's marketing team excelled at their use of social media. They created posts with eye-catching, unique-looking in-game visuals to draw attention, and used trends and hashtags with unique and interesting captions to increase virality. Massive Monster's marketing team also used impactful trailer moments, using key and iconic scenes such as the sacrificing ritual to draw intrigue from potential consumers. This is a scene that people will remember due to the impressive visuals and unique art style, leading to positive impressions. Their TikTok ads also aided immersion by speaking directly to potential consumers and showing off key elements of gameplay with beautiful visuals to keep viewer retention as high as possible. Engagement farming also helped to promote their game by interacting with potential consumers in the comments of their posts and trailers. Asking leading questions that in turn promote people to leave their opinion, which increases clicks and engagement on platforms like Twitter, meant that more and more people were exposed to their posts. This was a successful marketing campaign for a small indie studio, leading Massive Monster to sell 1 million copies in just 10 days across multiple platforms. We will now be moving on to our launch choices. As indie developers, it is important we think about the competition in the market. We plan to avoid Halloween week, as major studios launch flagship horror games during Halloween, making it difficult for indie games to stand out. Competing directly with these high-budget releases can limit our visibility and player engagement. We should aim to have the game completed by early autumn, September or October, to avoid Halloween market saturation, yet align with the Halloween hype. However, there is still a possibility that our game will not get the full visibility it would have at a different time. We have also opted for a PC release via Steam. This allows us to utilize the global reach of the platform, which wouldn't be possible with others due to most of them being region locked. Steam also provides seasonal sales and offers for the games on the platform, which we could participate in to entice more players into buying the game at a lower price. And finally, we meet our critical reflection. Reflection is a vital component of any project. It will help us determine our strengths and teach us what areas we need to improve for future campaigns. Our campaign makes great use of modern marketing tools like social media and influencers to promote and sell our game, which can expand our target market. We have also provided data and research to back up our choices when it comes to genre and target audience. Finding relevant research relating to a new genre like analog horror proved difficult, so conducting our own research as a group could have provided us with better insight how to structure and improve our marketing campaign. We also think our game is unique and provides a title to a niche market of horror games, which is bound to attract a large, loyal community within the analog horror target audience. When it comes to marketing through streamers and influencers, our group initially wanted to use larger streamers, such as Queso. This is good for an initial marketing push, but smaller streamers with a more loyal and close-knit community can have just as, if not more of an effect due to their viewers trusting the creator a lot more. Overall, we believe this is a strong marketing campaign for our studio's first indie game, and will happily answer any questions you may have for us. Thank you for listening.